You're a little bit harder to work than that.
That was actually gross.
Oh, my bad.
Right.
My bad. Okay.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
It was the energy drink. It was bubbly and it just kind of like shot out.
Right. Yeah, I know. It just happens.
Yeah. It's Monday.
Yeah.
So it's Monday, June 27th, 2022.
Just run the intro.
Good morning.
The city of prosperity, riches for some, but for the masses, scraping by is all they can do. Meet Bitna. It's a hard life with an even harder reality. Living in the roughest part of town, it looks impossible to make it big. But maybe she will find it in a simple dress. The Radiant Sight, a new romance story by Martin Fisher.
Oh my goodness! Yes. So
Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning. It's like I swear to God, if we ever got to a point that we needed to do merch, I would definitely make a T-shirt with the two post-its, and the logo underneath. Because really, I cannot function without these two post-its. That's how bad it is. I mean, it's like, look, I know I mentioned this every show, but you guys have no idea. I literally have to have these out, and after every show, I switch them over just so I don't get confused. But I mean,
funny.
Oh, it's awful.
It's hilarious.
So welcome everybody to another episode of Ragin to the Vlogs. The name, just as tiring to say as how I feel right now. Oh my goodness, what a week. So hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992 because I really don't know any better. I really don't. And I am known as the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, now on Kickstarter. We're just hitting a little over 2 weeks left on the campaign. So links in the show notes so you can go make some pledges. You can create your own level. I got a whole bunch of things going on the campaign, so go check that out. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also now on Kickstarter but in pre-launch. The actual campaign launches on August 22nd, 2022. So make sure you sign up for that pre-launch page to get notified when it goes live so you don't miss out on some of those first day goodies that I have available for everybody who makes their pledges in those first couple of hours. So don't miss out on that. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lager, which is also simulcast through this very network, the Ragin 2 network. So make sure you subscribe and like and share and do all the things that makes the algorithm happy. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. So Nita, who are you?
My name is Nita Lanning, and I'm choking to death.
Oh, hey, it's that preparation before the show.
I guess. I am a writer, vlogger, blogger from Southeast Louisiana. I am the executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
There you go. And I'd like to thank everybody in the comments so far, and all you mystery viewers who are watching us from regions beyond. I see you.
Come touch our chat.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, come on over to YouTube. I know you're shy, but come on over to YouTube and join the sexy people in the chat. Sometimes they run their own show during ours, so it's twice as much fun for everybody. But yeah, if you're watching us from links that you're seeing on our Facebook group, on Twitter, come on over to YouTube, subscribe to our channel. I just said that. You guys know the drill. But thank you so much for joining us. So who is in the chat today?
Mac Jimmy and Joe D. McPhee.
Hello. I guess everyone is having a hard time waking up this morning, but I think Brian K. Morris is on right now, right?
I think Nick and Carl are
okay.
running things over there. I'm gonna pop in their chat for a minute.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Bro, it's my time to shine.
So once everybody wakes up and whatnot, it's like we'll see more people. So is there any housekeeping? Is there any housekeeping that we need to take care of before we get started? We have
yes.
Today, so.
Let's see. Mr. JD Calderon's The Oswald Chronicles continue.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's finally live. The campaign is live. It is now on Kickstarter. It starts the first issue of the new miniseries, If I Were a Few Inches Taller, and the start of JD's ambitious The 100 Artists Project. The first issue is now available there. So again, links are in the show notes to his campaign. So yes, and speaking of campaigns, save 5% on your next Gemini mailer order with our coupon code Ragin2, where you can get it's like send your books out in style. It's like people, it's like we're boutique publishers making boutique items, and your pledgers are paying premium for your comic. Make sure they get them in tip-top shape using a Gemini mailer. So don't forget to use that. And also, if you have a question for us or a comment, or you want us to address something on the show, if you have an idea for a topic you want us to talk about, email us at raginabc@gmail.com. It's like Nita will sort you out, and most likely we'll talk about it on the air. So there's no question too odd that we won't tackle. Okay, maybe there might be some, but we'll try. We'll give it the old college try.
You know what we ought to do?
What?
We ought to make some little video clips, some MP4s for those two right there, and then just put them in all the different StreamYards too. That way it's just a click, hit play, 30 seconds, or not even 15 seconds. Yep, Ragin 2, do it.
Right. Oh, there you go. Like little mini bumps or something. Yeah.
It would get easier than trying to figure out what to say every time.
Well, maybe.
It's so generic.
Right. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. There's a certain, sometimes you don't want to get too polished, too controlled with, you want to give like a feeling of spontaneity, Even when we're talking about Gemini mailers, you don't want to sound like you're running commercials for 2 minutes, So yeah, but also I want to thank everybody who joined us on House of Bob on Saturday. We had a really good time. The chat, Nita and the chat helped me color a piece. I mean, so it's like it was literally color by chat. It was actually pretty fun. Everybody had really good color choices, I have to admit, little good design choices for the piece. So I might make that a regular thing. So we run House of Bob, which is an adults only live stream featuring artwork and conversation, not suitable for the day crowd. Yes, there we go. Beautiful House of Bob. And and I've been working on my mostly specific prints for the House of Bob book that I would eventually like to put together. And it's like, coloring, it's like, having everybody in the chat choose colors and patterns and how to, does it look better like this or look better like that? Does it look better? It's like, it was really fun. I had a really good time. It took a lot of design. It took a lot of like thought process off of me, so it was very
fun.
Yeah. It was very nice to not have thinking pressure, just to color a piece. So so definitely. So if you want to join in the fun, help me color some pieces, so that we could truly make, when the book comes out, a true group effort,
And after so far that we haven't had a problem, I think we're pretty much good to go now.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
If we didn't get a copyright strike or whatever for last week, we're good to go.
Yeah, and this one
get down and dirty, Daphne.
No, this one in particular, we were talking about sex and comics, and I was showing a lot of examples. And so if we were able to make it, through the entire 2 hours without getting knocked off the air, especially with some of the stuff that I was showing, I think we're okay. What was it?
I kept waiting for the bump to just tell everybody, y'all hang tight. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Oh no,
our time out.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It was, it's like, so we did our 4th episode. And we made it through another episode. So I'm really glad people are enjoying it. I'm really glad that YouTube is understanding what we're doing,
Education.
Yes, exactly. I like to think so. Just because we're doing dirty artwork doesn't mean we can't be educational. So so if you want to watch, like I said, the color by chat and a very interesting conversation about adult comics or
history of porn and comics.
Right. It's like, and see some, and watch me get surprised at looking at some old artwork of mine and actually being pleasantly surprised, actually. So check out the replay of House of Bob on Saturday. So I think you'll enjoy it. So the next episode of House of Bob, every episode is once a month. So it's the last Saturday of every month. And the next 30th. One, I think, is July 30th. So make sure you're subscribed to get notified to get notices when we're about to go live with that show. Yeah, exactly. Yes. True. Right. And as always with House of Bob, Google at your own risk. Just because we talk about it doesn't mean you should be Googling it. So
that's a shame, Glenn. Dust it off.
Right, yeah. So yeah. So what going on with you, Nita?
Well, right now I'm still upset that I burped.
Oh no. But look, it happens. It's like, it's like better the front end than the back end. Look, it happens. We're people, so sometimes we can't help it. But those energy drinks are potent.
Lovely.
Yes.
I'm just like doing some writing in a much better place than I have been in quite some time.
Yeah, you look it.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to get caught up on shit that kind of fell behind and put my focus or not put my focus back, because I've maintained focus, but put my energy into the stuff that matters.
Yeah, that seems to be, especially these last couple of days, that seems thank you, Nicholas. We appreciate it. No, there's enough love to go around to everybody. I mean, if they want to stay and
no, there's not. No, Nick, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
They can catch us on the replay.
One of my own cannot be running against me, and it's about to be Nick's show. Yeah, no. Yeah. We're gonna have to run 2 hours later just to get our regulars over here.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. It's like the replay. The replay is all good. Yes,
it's a rare thing, man. It's rare. No, I'm just.
Yeah, we like we like to keep it positive. It's true. So yeah, what was I saying?
I don't even remember.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that you were looking good. You were looking awake, looking aware.
Feeling a lot better.
Yeah, it's like me. I'm all frizzed out from the humidity. I have an air conditioner in my office going because I had quite the scare yesterday. My computer stopped working.
Oh,
and
it is a scare.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was doing this weird thing where it wouldn't allow me to access any files or folders from the desktop. But I could do it through a program. And like if I did it through the desktop, like if I opened up like a file folder, it wouldn't show me anything like from the computer. Like it would just show me the external hard drive.
Oh, I would have gone in panic mode.
It's like I shut down. JD was like asking, "Are you okay?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "What's the matter? My computer is not working." And he goes, "But are you okay?" And I go, if my computer is not okay, I am not okay. And nobody is happy in this house.
You see, at least you guys will talk a little bit about it. Because like if one of us starts having equipment problems, it's like, just don't ask right now. Just don't ask.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know. Because you see, and that's the thing too. If something happens to my computer, it's usually the answer is I don't know. Because it's so I spent like a couple of hours just trying to like figure out what was going on and looking up stuff and and it asked, and then what was worse was that I backed up. Well, I tried to back up some files that I knew were on my desktop. And this is the thing too. This just serves as a reminder for everybody, especially with the amount of digital work that we do. Do not store anything on your computer without having a redundant backup system. I've learned this lesson the hard way several times already. So I try to keep as minimal items as possible on my desktop. I
get you an external hard drive and a cloud.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I have too. And even then, if you can do multiple externals, do it. If I had the money, I would invest in one of those mini servers. Where it's like where it's just like it's. I don't know. It's kind of like a network server, but it's like this big, but it's almost as expensive as a new computer. It's awful because it's like because you don't know what's going on, and it's not like any of this is intuitive, and even though I had minimal items on my desktop, it's still a hassle because it's like everything we do is on the computer practically. It's like, so it's like, so I had to so I thought maybe the computer was overheating. So I set up
my graphics kills me. Just
right. Exactly. So it's like I had to set up an air conditioner and kind of like get that, the office, at a right temperature. And then it's like, but it still wouldn't work. And something, it's like, okay, what's going on? And then the computer had me reset all my passwords.
Oh, shit.
For it to temporarily lock me out. If you ever wanted to see me almost lose my goddamn mind, it made me change all my passwords.
You've been edging everything lately, Daphne.
I know, really. And then I went to reboot, and then it kept telling me it didn't recognize my passwords.
Jesus.
You know, so it was rough. It was rough, but obviously I finally got it together. And get this, I think what the problem was that the computer was punishing me for not being constantly logged into my Microsoft account.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, because my computer can't update for some reason to Windows 11. So it's not that. But the second I finally got into, I had all the everything sorted out, the passwords and everything. When I logged into my Microsoft account, all of a sudden everything started working again.
Oh, imagine that.
Right. You know, so I was a little annoyed by that, you know, because now it's like, not only do I have, it's like I have, because it forces me to have a password on my computer. They all do. They all, I swear to God, every computer goes
just
through
had to
that.
smack the bitch around a little bit.
Exactly. No, for real. It's like, you know, take a baseball bat to that shit, you know. It's like,
wow.
You know,
wow.
I mean, you know, it's like, that's, I mean, really, it's like, but it just goes to show you, it's like how much we depend on these things for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
You
now
know?
I'm tripping. Now I'm like, it's been a while. I need to move some of that shit over there too.
Right. Yeah. You know, and I mean, and I wasn't too concerned about losing files. That's the thing. Like I said, I kind of had everything. That's exactly, and that seems to have been the problem.
I am all the graphic cards because I haven't been keeping up with the drive like for the past 3 months. Like, I haven't been storing stuff in the Google Drive like I should.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I would lose a lot.
Right.
But the good news is if your shit's not crashed at the same time, you've got it too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Technically, I have all your graphics cards, technically. I'm the one that made them. So, it's like, so yeah, it's not that I was concerned about losing my graphics.
Word. Shut it, bitch.
Yeah. You know, I have my external. I have it gets worse from here, my Jimmy. It really does.
50 miles. Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, you know, it gets worse from
here. I'm tired thinking about driving 50 miles.
No, I have a hard time driving long distances too, you know. And mind you, we don't have a car. But when I used to, I was babysitting my sister's car for a while, and we would drive everywhere. And it's like driving for more than 2-3 hours tops. You know, it's like after that, it's like, okay, wherever we stop, that's where we're staying. It's like, yeah, but yeah, so but yeah, it was just the whole thing about not having access to my computer, not having access online. You know, I mean, you know, because without my computer, I can't access my files, right? Even if it wasn't online. You know, I mean, it's like, and that's the thing too, because Jose goes, well, if you have to wait for your computer to cool down, at least you can still work. And I go, yeah, because all my artwork is analog. You know, so yeah, I still have my paper and pencils and markers and whatnot, so I could still work, and which I did. You know, but still though, you know, I had that nagging, the computer better work. No. But the thing is though, but yeah, it's like, so even if you like do digital work, always make sure you know how to pick up a pen and paper. I mean, it sounds almost dumb to say that. Thanks for the earworm. Thanks for the earworm. You know, but yeah, so now we're gonna earn that copyright strike. You know, but for those of you curious, I do have a Western Digital external hard drive, which I was told, do not buy a hard drive that's odd numbered. Always buy an even numbered hard drive, you know, like the 2, 4, 6, 8. Don't buy a 5. Don't buy a 3. For some reason, I was told those were unstable. But if you stick with the even numbers, you'll be okay. And Western Digital, you know. And I also use a service called Carbonite. which is a cloud service. I pay I think like $119 for the year. And what I like about it is that it runs in the background and it saves everything. I know that there's a setting I have to update so that it backs up all my videos as well. But the videos I'm not that concerned about because, they're backed up. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of Twinkies that you would need afterwards too.
Nobody eats Twinkies anymore, Daphne.
Oh, don't they? No.
This new medical grade shit, if you get the right strain, you don't even get munchies anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, so then you snack anyway, right? I mean, oh well. Well, hey, it's so
Yuck,
so yes. So I use Carbonite. Like I said, cloud service works in the background. What you do is you set up a hard drive for it to automatically back up, which it does, and then it also backs up everything on your desktop. So without having to think about it, everything is covered. I don't have to worry too much about it. But it's always good. But also I have a redundant system. About once a month I back up all my files on separate like flash drives.
Yeah, you got me scared. I'm backing my shit up again today.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like because if you think my hair was frizzy now, you should have seen it yesterday. It's like,
And the fan idea, I need to get a fan in here because this closet easily gets 90 degrees and it won't take long because it's coming. It was like 116 with the whatever, feels like, but still.
Like whatever the gremlin outside says it is, That's what my father used to say. He always hated that heat index thing, where it's like, oh, it's 100 degrees, but it feels like, and he goes, if it feels like, he never is like, no, it's like, if it feels like it, then it is, it's like, what is that? Why are you, what is there a gremlin on the roof somewhere?
And I don't even I just know that even if I'm getting up to go for my walk before the sun rises now, it's already 82 degrees before the sun is even up. And it's just like, by the time I make it to my halfway end point, depending on if I'm with Rowan or not, and get back, it's already 94, 95. And it's like,
wow. Yeah. That's like whenever I stay in Florida, it's if you're not out by 8:00 in the morning, oh, forget it. You're in for a rough time afterwards between that sun and the humidity. Because it's like I usually stay around Miami Beach and there's not a lot of tall buildings. So you get no shade whatsoever. So you're getting that full sun on top of you. And it's like, 8 a.m. latest. And forget about being outside at noon. If you want heat stroke, that's what you do. But anything,
I gave you an earworm.
Yeah, really?
I gave you one.
Yeah, I mean, but that is the theme for the day. Back your stuff up, back your shit up. Yeah, back your shit up. Yeah, and don't forget how to draw on paper. Don't forget how to do things on paper. It's like even if you're not an artist, if you're a writer, you can write in a notebook. It's like learn how to do things.
Daphne.
Learn how to do, it's like, look, I was there in the cave days. I saw
the writing on the wall.
I saw the rise of technology. I saw the first modems. It's like we have to make sure we know how to. I survived before computers. I should be able to survive after them. But that doesn't mean I still don't get absolutely insane if my computer acts up.
Hey, guess what?
What happened?
We got company.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes. And luckily, because I had to put the air conditioner in, I got to vacuum. I got to
clean the house for him.
Yeah, it's like, we clean the house. So yes, we have a guest today. We're being joined by Dojo Kun, and with probably his best named campaign.
Don't say it. I want to run it. I love it. Ready?
All right, so show some love, and we'll be right back.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
I love it.
I love it.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's like welcome to the show. And I mean, I swear to God, that's probably. I mean, look, a lot of people impress me with their trailers for their comics, but I really do think that this was one of the best ones. From the music choice to the name.
Wow, thank you.
You know, I mean, was this something that you did or you hired out or, you know?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I hired out each piece of that. The voiceover was done by the guy who truly does the commercials for In a World.
Really?
Yeah. You can hire him on Fiverr. So I got him to do that.
Funny.
The music is from one of those free royalty-free channels. And then the video was put together by somebody that I was put in touch with by Jake Adams, the one who does Cobalt, Death Stalks Us. So yeah, he got me in touch with the person. She's from India. Her name is Nishi. And she does a great job putting that stuff together. So yeah, it was a conglomerate of talent that put that togetger. And yeah, it was so much fun. And then of course, once I had all of those pieces, I needed to go into my video pad editor and piece them together.
Right. It's a wonderful job, sir. I mean,
Thank you.
and then it's like
my favorite video.
I think so too, because it all just like works together.
Yeah.
But that's what we strive for, right? Now,
The name.
You
love it, Daphne.
The name. Say it 5 times fast, I swear. So where, I mean, it's like, so you wrote this story and what I like about how the story starts is that it starts off as like, oh, it's a standard, Western, whatever, the bad guy comes in and he accidentally turns into a sheriff. And then all of a sudden you're going, but then druids are involved, and then there's magic, and then wait a minute, and then he turns into a lizard, and then what?
But you know what? We got to do something else first. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Oh, that's right. Look at that. I got so excited. We were so excited about the project.
It was like, what?
So, Senor, tell the people who you are, because
Great, thanks.
We may know, but they don't.
All right. Yeah. My name is Brian. I'm the owner, operator, and lead writer for Dojo Kun Comics. And I say lead writer because there actually are several people who have written for the company under my banner, and they've got their own works there too. So I am willing to work with other writers if they want to, submit something. I've been publishing comic books since 2014. I've been a collector for 47 years. But what I did was in 1999, I quit cold turkey because I was collecting so many different comics and by so many different companies. And we just had our second baby, my ex and I, and it was just too much financial burden to continue that. I couldn't give up the kids. I had to give up the comics. Looking back, I wonder if but I gave them up for about 14 years. And when I got back into collecting, I decided that I would just collect a few of my favorite characters, which I do now. But it's even getting a little hard to do that because of the disappointment that the mainstream has become.
Oh, yeah.
But at that time, too, though, I wanted to get involved in comics. I've been in entertainment. I've been a singer and an actor. And I thought, I could write for Marvel or DC. I think I've been reading them for so long. So I wrote a script for She-Hulk. Oh. And then I scoured the Marvel website to see, okay, now how do I submit this? And it took a long time to find the tiny little print bottom of a page that says, yeah, you don't.
Oh.
Basically, it says, go get published, we'll find you. So I did look for opportunities on a website called ZWOL, ZWOL.org. And this site, it puts together people who are writers, artists, colorists, etc. It's great. It's like a want ads for all of those people. And you can find people from various skill levels and various price points. So, I found the ones that would work well with me. But I found an ad in there that said, we need somebody to write comic books for us and help us with our accounting.
Oh,
which I was like,
random, two random things.
Wow. Have we met? Because I've been an accountant and an auditor and a fraud examiner, anti-money laundering specialist. I'm like, very interesting that's what they're keying in on. So I sent them my resume and my She-Hulk script. They contacted me and hired me within an hour.
Oh, very nice.
So I worked for 2 small press companies, and I'd have to be honest. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I won't say their names because we parted on less than good terms.
Right.
I think that the main reason was they were trying to be too big for their britches. One of them was trying to do this huge main crossover event with like 6 of their titles. And you can't do a crossover event if people know none of your IPs.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They're going to not be invested in them. Anyway, so we had a difference of opinion. So I started my own company. I'm like, I'll just do it myself. And wow, it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yes. That's why I don't understand people who think that, oh, you just do comics. That's easy, right? And it's like, are you crazy?
I mean, I have to say that I'm super jelly of people who can do it all, like the Kenneth Roquefort, the Michael Bancroft, the people who can write it, color it, draw it, letter it, all of those things, because they're beholden to no one but themselves. Who are you pointing at? Daphne? She's on the other side.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Are you mirrored on your computer?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, there you go. You see, computer problems. But I do everything because 1, I'm cheap, and 2, I'm a control freak. I mean, so yeah, it's not. We do it out of necessity.
Yeah, it's like herding cats when you've got a bunch of artists and colorists and letterers, etc. Right. And I mean, I've been very fortunate to connect with some very professional people.
Right.
Most of the time. I have some horror stories. Again, that's not what the show is about.
We all do. Right, exactly. I think we all do it. It's part of the course,
I mean, I'll be very brief, but I even had a colorist who was trying to control the whole thing. It's like,
a colorist?
Yeah. Your input is valuable.
Right.
I'd like to know if you see something that's incongruous or there's something that doesn't match or whatever.
I thought they were an editor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't mind your input if you see something that needs addressing, but don't tell me then how to run the whole company. That's very odd.
It's very, it's kind of strange how it's like people, I don't know, they tend to overstep for some reason when that's not what you're hiring them for, but the thing is, everything that you talk about, I mean, that's pretty much a lot of our origin stories where it's like, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I'm glad I did, because back then, like I said, I was interested in working for Marvel. And if you were to ask me today, I would say absolutely not.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's no way.
I mean, it's like, well, me personally, I never had a want for that. It's like, but what I did have a want for was knowing that nobody was really making the comics that I wanted to see. So I have to make it myself,
Right.
It's like, because that's the argument, right? If you don't like it, make it yourself. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, if you insist.
Well, not only that, but they do say you write the stories that you would like to read.
Yeah.
And you'll find an audience for those stories.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and that's the thing. And in the end, it's like, really, and it's funny that you mentioned the thing about, we'll find you, and Marvel and DC say that they'll find you. It's like, I was speaking to another artist who well, I was speaking to an artist. His name's Kevin John, and he does like a lot of sports paintings, and he has like these licensed deals with Disney and Lucasfilm and whatnot. But he's still a very individualistic artist. Like it's not like these companies define him. Okay. And he told me, and I was talking, I was like, yeah, how do I get working for Disney or whatnot? And he just looked at me and he goes, look, Disney is only interested in you if you can prove you can make money for yourself. So it's like, if you can make money for yourself, then that's when they're interested in you, because that means that you can make money for them. But to me, yeah, exactly. But to me, that doesn't make sense, because if I can make the money for myself, why would I want to share with Disney? So
right.
It's just the same thing with Marvel. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had been publishing for a few years, like I said, and then one of my friends on Facebook saw me posting my characters, and he said, hey, those are pretty cool, but I wouldn't be posting those unless you get published first. So I explained that I have been publishing them, and he said, oh, dude, you got to get with this indie network that I know about. And so, I started watching the streams and really getting involved in the chat, which was super supportive and encouraging.
Right, yeah.
I love the network. And they introduced me to crowdfunding, which I hadn't experienced before and really knew very little about. But my first crowdfunder was Siamese. That one funded in 3 days and fulfilled on time. So that was a great, a great freshman outing for me. Now, unfortunately, I made the mistake of launching 2 campaigns following that, and those 2 failed to fund. I think there was a lot of small nuances that I learned a lot from. Mm-hmm. One of them was the fact that one of the names of the campaigns was To'uro'u Tales, and that one didn't resonate a lot with the potential fans. The To'uro'u is the stone lantern in my company's logo, but I had to explain that every time, and so the name, it didn't resonate. Right. So that's something, the stories in that anthology, I think, are still worthy, but they're going to have to come under some kind of different cover or different name. And then the other one was it was a licensed product from an award-winning novelist who had done a trilogy. And that trilogy was called The Healing Wars. And The Shifter was the first book. So the thing is, the goal for that, because the artist was very expensive and getting the license to do those books was very expensive, the goal was really high. So because of that, people saw that goal, and probably it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they probably said, oh, I really seriously doubt he's going to reach that goal, so I won't bother backing. Yeah. And then, of course, it didn't fund because nobody backed it. Yeah. Now, that's conjecture on my part, to be honest with you. And there's a few other things that I really learned a lot from. So this campaign, I think, is going to do far better. And, I expect it to not only fund, but it's going to be fun fulfilling.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like we all learn something. It's like it doesn't matter like how many campaigns you look at and how many people you talk to. I mean, there's still some lessons you have to learn the hard way.
Well, you know what, Daphne, you also learn lessons from the ones that succeed, your own. Uh-huh. Even the ones that succeed, you learn a few things. Like Siamese, for example, I had 6 variant covers. And I know that we all know some people, I'm talking to you, Philip Russert, who has, 26 variant covers. I mean, he's got inroads, though, with a lot of great talent. But the 6 variant covers on my first campaign was probably a little lofty. I mean, I fulfilled it, but that was kind of tough. So this one here, I've limited to 3 variant covers, the regular and then 2 variants. Right. I think that'll be plenty.
Right. Yeah. Because variant covers are kind of tricky, because it's like, because there's a question as to whether the people buying them will continue to support your campaign later, as opposed to just buying the variant covers now and then disappearing. And, and also just like the type of variant covers, and then having to, even though we work in POD, that we're using POD, it's still having to like, oh, you need all these different files for all the variant covers. It just becomes a logistics problem, after a bit. And it's like, when you're just the one person, having to fulfill all this, it's like, Yeah, maybe 37 variant covers is a little too much,
Right. And honestly, that's something that I railed against the mainstream for. I'm a She-Hulk collector, okay?
Right.
And I try to collect all of her appearances, including the variant covers.
Right.
And part of the problem with that as a completist collector is when Secret Wars 2 #1 came out, they had literally 46 variants.
Right, yeah.
Some of which were store exclusives to Midtown Manhattan and Mile High Comics in Colorado. And how am I going to get those except on the secondary market?
Yeah.
And people are buying those at, face value and then selling them at $60, $80, $120.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't do it. I mean, I make pretty good money, but I don't make that good.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's like, look, I'm still salty that that Funko Pops put out a Witcher Geralton and Roach Walmart exclusive, and it's like, even though I had the link saved, it sold out before I could get my hands on it, and now it's like a $20 Funko Pop is now like $80, $90 on the secondary market, and it's like, come on, guys. I mean, really?
Exactly.
Yeah. So why don't we bring up this this fabulous campaign that you have, so we can talk about it, because really though, I really need to ask you about Projectile Reptile.
So the generational changes that this went through are a lot like you described at the beginning, where you said it starts out as a Western, and it really did. The Cactus Kid was going to be the title, but I decided that having never written a full-on Western before, and I'd probably be better off making it eventually turn into a superhero, I decided, you know what, this is going to be part of the connected superhero universe in Dojo Kun Comics, and it's going to make its way to current day Los Angeles, where a lot of my characters are set. So it took a life of its own, as often writers experience. I decided, oh, this is going to happen. Oh, and now that's going to happen. And
exactly. And it's like,
it was fun.
So, I mean, it's like, and how did you because like I said, it starts off, oh, it's just a Western and blah blah blah, and oh, he becomes a sheriff, and then a druid shows up, and then he turns into a lizard with 4 arms, and then it's like, how does he end up with a name like Projectile Reptile in the middle of the West? It's just like what it sounds like, a bunch of random things strung together. Almost.
It was almost stream of consciousness, but yeah, I don't want to give too much away because it would get spoilery.
No, of course.
But yeah, the fact that it becomes part of, it starts in the Old West and then becomes part of current day Los Angeles is part of the fun of the whole thing. And he gets his superhero code name in current day. He's not called that back in the West. There was actually a mission he was on in the Old West that he doesn't get to complete. And the druid, somebody said to me, when you think of, even if you're thinking magic in the Old West, you don't typically think of a druid. Druids are like Ireland and
exactly.
So how did a druid end up in the Old West? That would be more like a shaman, wouldn't it? And I said, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Magic.
That's part of the fun, is that you could do whatever you want when you're writing a comic.
Exactly.
And it's not just because I like druids better than shamans. I actually had the druid and the Cactus Kid on 2 separate missions that happened to collide. They're completely unrelated missions, but they came to the same town for different reasons and then run afoul of one another. And then, hilarity ensues.
Exactly, right? And they fight crime. Because it's like, it was just like, I think that's what kind of like I found very entertaining with the trailer, because it just seemed like one non sequitur after another. And I'm, and that's kind of.
And I want that transition. I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. And and I'm big on I have a very European sense of humor, I guess, and non sequiturs is a part of that. And it's like, okay. And then all of a sudden, so that's because that was something that I wanted to ask, because because when the trailer transitions to modern times, it's like, well, is this two separate stories, or is that the trajectory of the original Western that it leads into that modern times with the two superheroes?
Oh, right. Yeah. No, it's the trajectory of the projectile reptile. He meets those superheroes and supervillains and, forms uneasy alliances with them because, after all, I got to be honest, this isn't too spoilery. This almost always happens, but I've got the comic book trope of when they meet, they aren't, they have a misunderstanding,
right?
If you will. Yeah. Because he thinks he's being hunted. They think he's more than he appears to be. So, but then something is said, Martha, why'd you use that name? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But something like that,
Yeah, I know. It's like both our moms' names is Martha.
It's not quite like that, but along those same lines. Where,
but I think that's a great example of it's like just because something's a trope doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but also there is a way to use it poorly. Yeah, right. But there's also a way to just use it having fun. So
exactly, and that I'm glad you said that because I want my comic books to harken back to the days where comic books were fun.
Right.
I don't want to teach anybody any lessons. Right. I don't want any agendas. I don't want my politics to show at all.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty clear what my politics are, but not in my comic books.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't want that at all. So this is, exactly.
Nobody wants to be force-fed somebody else's beliefs or bullshit,
Right.
And also most of the time, they're usually so poorly shoehorned in that it's like really obvious what's going on, as opposed to like it's one thing to write a story about political intrigue. Like, we're not saying that comic stories can't have a form of politics in it. I mean, it's like I have an entire series that's all medieval political intrigue, you know. But the thing is, though, is that it's in context to the story. It's not, and it doesn't feel like there's a certain modernity in those politics. You know what I mean? That it's like I said, it's like usually when people want to project themselves a little too much in the story, it's obvious because they really want you to know.
Well, I would go so far as to say it's even possible to have modern politics in a comic book without forcing your own politics on the reader. To mention that it is occurring is one thing, but to pick sides is another. So, I mean, to mention it as, and maybe even put both sides in there or neither is fine, in my opinion. It's a fine line, and I think that it's important not to cross it. And also, too, I want to say that my goal here is to have these books eventually lead into a team book. And I say that because I want my writing to emulate as best I can the writing of Marv Wolfman on the Teen Titans or Chris Claremont on the X-Men. The reason I say those two in particular is those two guys were the penultimate writers of teams that aren't just teammates, but then become friends and then honestly even become family. Another person who did some fantastic characterization, I see Hojo mentioned in the chat, is John Byrne. John Byrne wrote the Fantastic Four as a very cohesive unit of family members, even when they weren't actually family. Well, Ben Grimm, of course, isn't family, but he becomes family. But when She-Hulk took his place, the characterization there was spot on. Now, he later goes on to write Sensational She-Hulk, and in my opinion, he makes her the butt of far too many jokes. I think he was too enamored with his own cleverness. But when he was writing Fantastic Four, the characterizations he did were phenomenal. So, I would say if you haven't read those issues, go back and read them. They were great.
So when are you launching? Do you have your date set yet?
I do. In fact, there's 47 days before I launch, and that's
dang.
I've got a countdown that's pinned to my Twitter file. And it's on August 13th.
Oh, okay.
Michael Bancroft is doing a special Saturday show. He's been doing that lately, so it's not unique to me, but I can appreciate the fact that he's doing that because it's outside his normal schedule. And it's on 9 p.m. on his channel, that we're going to launch the projectile reptile.
Right. Now, do you usually plan out your campaigns like this? Like how do you schedule yourself with your campaigns? Do you kind of like roll with the punches, or do you put a date on a calendar and says, okay, I have to finish the book this day and then launch on this day?
Oh, I see. I'm unfortunately in the camp where the crowdfunding is going to pay for the book. So what I did was I made sure that I had enough pages done previously so that I could show the art on the campaign page so that people can see what kind of quality it's going to have. Right. And one of the even big reveals is going to be on the campaign page. And that's okay, because the projectile reptile in the trailer, you see his picture and all that. So it's no surprise that that's what he becomes. But, I've got that in there. I've got what I think are all of the add-ons and all of the stretch goals already decided, but not the dollar amounts for the stretch goals. And I say that because I've seen it happen too frequently lately, where somebody launches their campaign and they blow through the first 3 stretch goals right away, which is, a great problem to have, because that means they're earning a lot of backers. On the other hand, it sort of defeats the purpose of a stretch goal.
Right. Yeah.
The stretch goal is to incent people to back the project so that they get this cool gadget or whatever. So I'm going to hold off and wait and see how it starts, and then say, okay, if we get to, let's say, I'll just say $1,000, I'll put a stretch goal at $2,000 to try and, get there, stretch it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you're trying to do. And what kind of, so the book is going to be what, 32 pages?
Nope. It's going to be 48 full color pages. Okay. And hopefully the price point will be great. So if you sign up now, it's in the pre-launch sign up phase right now. If you sign up before we launch, you'll get a link to a discount tier once we launch. And I realize that takes a few seconds, and people who are trying to be the #1 backer aren't going to get it if you want the secret or discount tier. But it's worth it in my opinion. It's like a 10% discount, which is helpful. And then also too, if you're among the first 100 backers, you'll get a fridge magnet by 6 a.m. Comics, and it's pretty substantial. I already have them upstairs. It's about this big. It's big. It's about the size of your hand. And you saw it on the trailer.
It's the little chibi. Oh yeah. Chibi, that's a good one.
By 6 a.m. Comics. He does such a great job with those.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The first 100 backers will get one of those magnets.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And what kind of stretch goals are we looking forward to with the campaign?
Let's see. So we have a metal trading card.
Nice.
We have an additional, I think it's 8-page chapter that will be added to the book.
Very nice.
Additional content is always something that I like. So I make that one of the stretch goals. And it's going to be a chapter of a completely separate character called Dr. Primordial. So it's his first chapter. I'm looking for a Keshi figure to be the 3rd stretch goal. And then a challenge coin.
That's the name of a character, right?
Keshi?
Yeah.
No. A Keshi figure are those little, they're like a rubbery substance. They're like, I don't know if you haven't seen.
Remember
a Keshi
Arya's campaign where the
Tailless
I had the little miniature figures.
That's absolutely right.
Okay, I would have to look that up. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. So it's kind of just a little minifig.
People dig them. They're great.
They don't have any articulation or anything, but it's just a little figure of the character.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And then the last stretch goal will be a challenge coin.
Guys.
Oh, I remember. They look like the little muscle guys, I guess.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's funny. And what was the last one? I'm sorry.
The last one is a challenge coin. I had a challenge coin with Siamese, and that was a big hit.
Right.
Now that one's very expensive. It's a few $100s just for them to show you what it'll look like.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then it's about $700 to mint them.
Right.
Because they have a minimum order.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, though, it's like, and that's the thing, because yesterday on another show, we were talking about keeping kind of add-ons and stretch goals simple. I'm more of like a trading card sticker type of person, but it's like, what made you want to go with the little figure and the challenge coin, knowing the cost?
Oh, I see.
Right.
honestly, the popularity of those two things in campaigns that I've been observing, I've seen how many people really like those and thought that, that'd be great to add. And then when I did the challenge coin for Siamese, my first campaign, and it was so well received. It's substantial. It's heavy. It's a true, and I had done a challenge coin research for my day job, and they had issued those challenge coins to everybody who works there who is a veteran of the armed forces.
Oh,
and
right.
The challenge coins, it's usually armed forces related. This is a civilian company making them for the vets who work there. But, the challenge coin can be done by civilian companies. And it was so much fun to have that on the campaign that I want to do it again.
Right. Oh, okay. So pretty much, because they're just some certain things that we just like having on our own, on top of, right?
It's like it's kind of for me, but other people like it too. So
it works out. Yeah. So the trick is not to end up with a basement full of them. That's right. So here we go. So Dojo Kun Comics, Projectile Reptile on sign up pre-launch on Indiegogo. So it'll be launching
before we're published.
Right. And it'll be launching August
13th.
August 13th.
At 9 p.m. Eastern.
So make sure you sign up for that so you don't miss out on the secret level and being one of the first 100 people to get that magnet, which, I'm going to have to fight for that too. Because that image is just really nice. Like I said, I was really impressed with the trailer, and
thank you.
I always appreciate.
I wish I could remember with the first episode we ran the trailer in, because her reaction was priceless.
Yeah, it was just like, how can you go wrong with that? I mean, it was really well done, and I really do appreciate it when people really put that type of care into their work, as opposed to like me slapdashing a video together. It's like, oh, okay, show me up.
Because we have to make it better than the mainstream is. We have to really up our game because it's become a true meritocracy, and the quality needs to be there. And I need to show people that I'm passionate about this. I'm in this for the long haul, and the trailer needs to reflect that too.
Right, exactly.
Essential for marketing.
Yeah, and it's like really, and also it's like it really helps get above the signal to noise, because a catchy trailer is going to spread, wider than something that, again, I just slapped together in 15 minutes because I needed to put something on Kickstarter. But thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll have links to the campaign and I guess your website and everything in the show notes.
Before I publish, I'll put it
right. Yeah. But before we go and before I forget, so tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay. My website is dojokuncomics.wixsite.com/dojokuncomics. You can find me at Twitter at dojokuncomics. And then my YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/dojokuncomics. And I have a bunch of interviews I conduct just like this here. And I also do short form videos on a wide variety of topics. I'm trying to just get, everybody who's got an interest, you'll find something there for you.
Right. Oh, there you go. So a man of all seasons right here. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for chiming in. We always love that. Thank you to the 8 secret people who are watching us right now. It's like I just see the giant eye with the 8 stalkers next to it. Yeah, it's like, I know you're shy, I know, but it's like, come on. It's like, next time, try coming into the chat. Like I said, it's almost like we're running 2 different
The water's nice.
Exactly. We try to keep it fun and keep it positive here. So, there's nothing for you to worry about. But we thank you for staying with us for this hour.
Absolutely.
So on that note, if you want to find out more about my work as well, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post up to Facebook. And you can also read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings type of adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales online, Tails, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. I know Nita wants to get out of here.
No. Go ahead. This is my bad.
Right. So you can check everything out there. And remember that both Tall Tales and Eagle Raven is currently on Kickstarter right now. Tall Tales in a live campaign, Eagle Raven in pre-launch. Everything's going to be in the show notes. So, Nita, do you have any final thoughts about our day?
No. Facebook and Instagram, you can find me creating chaos 24/7. Twitter at C_chaos247, and anywhere under the Ragin banner.
Right. And in the immortal words of the sages, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and actually do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. And on that note, we'll see you guys on Friday. See you then.
Hit the button.
Hit the button.